One of the comprehensive data modeling capabilities that ER Studio provides is the support for Snowflake, allowing to perform reverse and forward engineering, which also helps in capturing organizational requirements and translating them into database design. This enables you to actually go ahead and connect to a Snowflake instance from ER Studio, and that will help you to capture the metadata that is from the Snowflake database platform. Also, you have the ability to generate DDL that you can push back to Snowflake and perform alters as well. One of the key scalability and performance aspects of this is that Snowflake's architecture is designed for high volume of data with performance included. It also offers some of the key data optimization techniques, which ensures efficient storage and querying. Next, we have the multi-cloud availability. As you well know, multi-cloud is becoming the name of the game today. We're not having just organizations deal with a single cloud platform, but it's also looking at multiple cloud platforms. Say, for example, Microsoft Azure, AWS, Google, and OCI. Here you're taking a look at some of the ER Studio key benefits. Then we have user-friendly interfaces, where ER Studio offers a user-friendly interface that simplifies the process of designing and managing Snowflake data warehouses. This can lead to a very high responsive and optimally designed performing system. This in turn will help you to get started with your data warehousing design journey with ER Studio and build those Snowflake schemas. Security and compliance. Security is paramount for most of the data warehouses today, and Snowflake is no different. So thereby, it helps you to encrypt all the data, making it easier for data warehousing certifications such as PCI and DSS. And we will show you how you can blend some of these data documentation design and incorporate these data security values and properties in ER Studio. Next, of course, Snowflake is very compatible with some of the leading BI tools like Power BI, Tableau, and Looker, also enhancing its ability to provide valuable insights. Some of the more advanced features that we'll be taking a look at is how you can look at procedures, functions, materialized views, sequences, user roles and schemas, etc., which are essential for advanced database management. If you folks have installed ER Studio Data Architect for the first time and you want to navigate to finding the Snowflake data model that we're going to discuss today, here is how you would get to going about it. You'll go to File, Open, and under your C drive or wherever you've installed Program Data, IDERA, the version of ER Studio, and then Sample Models. So I'm showing you the latest and greatest, the 20.3. And here under this, you have the HR database that actually looks at SQL Server to Snowflake. And this is what you will get. You'll get a logical data model, and you'll get a Snowflake and a SQL Server data model. So here we can take a look at the Snowflake data model. By design, you will start off with a generic logical data model here. And what I'll do is I'll take the training data model submodel. I'll copy this. I'll go to File, New, and I'll do another one. And here I'll choose dimensional, and I'll paste it here. So here you can see I already have all of my dimensional model being set up. And now I want to generate a Snowflake data model from this. So I'll right click and I'll say generate physical model. And here from the list, I can pick Snowflake. And here you can choose all the tables, everything looks good, and I'll hit finish. And now we'll change this to a dimensional model. So you can go ahead and right click and choose model options. And here I can pick dimensional. And voila, there you go. And here you can actually go ahead and leverage this to your advantage, where you can actually go ahead and explore each of the fact tables. Here you can see that. And if you go under dimensional, we automatically go ahead and tag these to the appropriate model table type. And then here you can choose any custom table type here as well. Next, what's important in Snowflake is the ability for you to look at storage. So depending upon what kind of storage you have, some data retention period, depending upon your organization's data retention policy. Then you have the transient, you have the temporary, then you have local, and all the other ones that you can see here. And what you can also do is you can also go into the clustering section, and you can choose which one you want to cluster by column. Yeah. And most importantly is, of course, you have your DDL that you can see here. And you can customize the DDL by choosing any comments that you have. And then if you want to generate column comments, etc. And you can choose how you want to define the primary key options and all that options. So now you can also go ahead and define what the definition you want. So here I can just say this is going to be the employee skill matrix. And there's going to be a fact table. Define something like this. And then what you can do is you can actually go ahead and generate the database. So here I can choose generate database. And here I have a couple of options. I can either choose generate to a script file, generate to a database connection directly to Snowflake, or I can generate a script file to a Git repository. So I have all of those. Here in our example, we'll just choose to generate a regular SQL file. And here, if I click on the SQL preview, I should be able to see all of my DDL here as per my requirement. And I can save this to a file. I hit finish, and I can view the SQL file here. So it'll go ahead and open up in the interactive editor. And once I'm done with it, I can then go ahead and copy that, give it to my Snowflake DBA, and they will go ahead and leverage that for us. So here I've given it to open it up in SSMS. So I can either do that, and here I'll just, this is just for my query files. So it's just gonna, this is my default editor here. So I can just look at all the scripts that it generated. Now, what we can do next is we can also explore our data dictionary. Now, one of the key things that I'd mentioned about having security and how to embed them for our documentation purposes, you can leverage the generate default security information here. And what that'll do is we have a template that will generate some set of files. So here you can see I have a compliance, privacy, etc. So I can then choose my compliance mapping. And here you can see I have my PCI. And here I can actually go into the model, look at the logical model or the physical model and implement that as part of it. And if I wanted to view that, I can actually go to the diagram and go to the diagram object display options. And here I can choose the data type, the null option, owner, etc. And now here, if I wanted to do a resize, so there now I have all of those types, and I just need to choose data security values here. And once I'm done with it, now I can do a Control A and a Control R and refresh which one I need it to. You can also go ahead and view it in here. You can go into the security information, apply the compliance mapping for all of these. You can do that too at both the table level as well as at the column level. So in the column level, you can actually go ahead and highlight all of these options. And then here, if I go into edit for display, I can then come in here, go under the security information tab, and have this here in place as well. And when we generate the documentation, this will all make sense. So now you can see I have the compliance mapping here, all defined. And I'll just save this model. And I'll go ahead and right click and I'll say generate reports. I'll choose an HTML report. On the left-hand side, this is where you can actually have the actual data model. So I'm going to do both. And on the right-hand side, it's where you can have your data modeling, the metadata associated with that model. Here, I'll just choose this, and I'll choose my most important data dictionary and any kind of security users that I need. Now, this is where you can actually have the image and you can give this a name, the author, the company name, and you'll just go ahead and hit finish. And voila, there you go. So now I can look at the model image. And here I can choose employee. And if I wanted to look at the Snowflake one, here you can see I have this, the compliance mapping, everything is here. So all of this is being listed as part of that security mapping. So here you can see I have the compliance mapping for PCI, and it shows me which all object names I've defined for that. Now, the last thing is that I'll cover is when you can leverage this, you can actually look at some of the data types here that we have built within the product, and you can customize this to your liking. And so, for example, we can go to the data type mapping editor. And here, if you want to explore more about how Snowflake is being designed, so here you can look at the Snowflake system. And these are all the different data types that we support. So with that, I would like to thank you all for attending today's session. And if you can scan that QR code from your phones, you can know more about how we can help you with your data modeling and Snowflake needs. And and then now I can go ahead and take the questions, please. Okay. Where are the sample models? Okay, somebody's answered that. Thank you. The table space clause. The table space clause, I don't know about that, but I can check and get back to you on that. Okay. I'm not a Snowflake designer. Has a design studio that allows them to make models. Is this true? I'm not sure about the Snowflake Design Studio, but I can, we can check and get back to you on that. Which version of VR Studio? It was introduced way back in 18.x, and then we've added more and more support, and we're bringing out more support for Snowflake as they evolve. Yes, Spencer, they were in the original, the sample models are in the original download. The sample reports are not there because you need to generate them from the data modeling tool. Yes, we'll be sharing the recording as soon as this is over. So to incorporate this into your CI/CD pipeline, what we would do is we would just, once we generate that DDL, you can then use your CI/CD pipeline tool to push that into a Git repository or your favorite DevOps pipeline and have those build tools extract the DDL and implement this. So yeah. we can reverse engineer from if you're talking about something like Delta files or something like that, we do have support for Databricks. But since this session is on Snowflake, for file storage and everything, that's something that you would leverage on them. So yeah, Spencer, we did show you how to generate that. I'm happy to show it to you here again. So and Arnav, we have right now for Mac OS, there's no native support, but you can connect to a remote machine that has Windows and has ER Studio installed from your Mac. So that's one of the ways. Here, if you look at how it does time travel, that is not something that I need to check and get back to you on this. So let me show Spencer one more time on how to do this here. Let me go back to the application. So Spencer, if you're able to see my screen, you just have to go to the data model section, right click on the data model in question. So here it's a physical data model, and then you can choose generate reports, or you can right click anywhere on the schema, and here you can choose generate reports. Here you can choose enhanced version and choose next. Here you can see on the left that you can go ahead and choose whichever you want. And that's the metadata. And here you can choose the image, finish. And there you go. So hope that answered your question, please, Spencer. Okay, so I'm gonna see if we have any more questions. Let's see. Yeah, so Spencer, for the sample models, again, let me show you where you can find it. You can actually go into, in ER Studio Data Architect, you can go into your C drive. I'm going to type this out so that you can see it. C drive program data. And here you have IDERA folder. Navigate to that, then you'll find the version of ER Studio that you have. Then you double click it. Then here you can see sample models. Hope that answers your question, please. All right. Yeah, absolutely. I can show you how to create the alter scripts. Does the DDL from Snowflake platform have the ability to create or alter? Yes, it sure does, Meenakshi and Mark, and I will show you that. So how it would work is you will have to have access to a Snowflake instance. And then when you choose generate database, you will choose connect to an existing database connection. So here I have Snowflake, so I'm gonna just connect to it. And here, once you choose the tables that you have from your model, you can then choose the option to compare and merge. So you have the DDL here for the regular create, right? Now for the alter, you will use what is called the compare and merge utility. And in the compare and merge utility, you would compare it against a live database. And here you can actually go ahead and choose next. And here we have, I can do that here. And once I have connection to that, I can then choose the training database or, well, whichever database I have. And if they have the same owner, etc., so I can choose any one of them. And here I can actually go ahead and have one of them here. So here you can see that there's just one table. So you can choose any of those. And here I can actually just go ahead and process these, and it will just tell you that this does not exist. So I'll bring this model first here, not delete from target, but merge into target, into current. So I brought in this particular table now. So after it's being brought, I can then just do there we go. Then here I can actually choose F4, and then here I should see the test txt, and I'll open that up in the editor. So let's say I just want to make a change here. So right here in the column, I just make it 31. Okay. I change the data type from text to timestamp LTZ. Okay. So now that I've saved that, I can then come in here. I can right click on this and I can say compare and merge. And here I can go and compare against a live database again. And what I'll do is I can pick this database. Then I can pick the correct schema. So here you can see now there's a column that says now it's G31. I want to push these changes into the target. And you can say, I have this delta alter script. It'll go ahead and generate that file for you. And there you go. There's your alter script. So let me go back to the questions now. Let me bring this out here. How do you enforce referential integrity? Well, basically you would just drag and drop the relationships by enforcing into a table. So let's say, for example, I wanted that table that I just brought in, this one here. I would then use insert, relationships, identifying relationships, and choose from one, the primary key to the child table. That's how I would do it. How do we customize the DDL permission, parameterize the DDL statement? Well, what you can do is you can customize it by editing it directly in your favorite SQL editor. But in terms of the DDL generation, you'll have to say generate database. And if I bring this over here, I can actually choose what customizations I want by using these generation options. And if I go to the general options, I can choose all of this. That's how we can do the customization. How do we create dynamic tables? I'm not sure of this. We'll have to check and get back to you on this. And then, yeah, if we want, Spencer, we can schedule a personalized demonstration with you. So if you can just, we will reach out to you since we have your information here. And then, yes, this session will be recorded. Yes. Can you identify the table that is a share and what was the original schema? I'm not sure I understood the question. So if you can clarify that, that'll be great, Ellison. I don't think we have any more questions here. So I think we can conclude the webinar, and we really appreciate all of you joining us today and taking the time out of your busy day. And we will share the recording as soon as it's live with all of you. And with those, all the questions that we couldn't get to, we will individually look at them and we'll respond to you individually.
Anil, we still have some time to cover some if you want to. Do you know
which
question? I see more questions in the chat. I can run through like what the questions are and we can see if we answered them.
Sure.
Okay. So I think you, assuming yeah, Snowflake is it true? Okay, so this one, did you get to the one from Rob Dickens? I'm not a Snowflake schema designer at the moment, but I'm assuming Snowflake has design studio that would allow them to make data models. Is this true? If so, what features do ER Studio offer that Snowflake Design Studio do not?
I am not. I think I answered that,
Okay.
Lauren. I told them that I'm not sure of the Snowflake schema designer, but I've told them that we will check and get back to them. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think you got the ones from Spencer, right? We said
Yes.
that.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
And I mentioned the Snowflake ER Studio version as well. So, and Spencer's, we responded to that. Then what else?
so did you get to typically in organizations, it's not typical to just connect to Snowflake environment and deploy, create, or alter.
Yes. Yes, I did. I did.
This one says, I'm familiar with Databricks, but less so Snowflake and Databricks medallion architecture. Tables are designed atop a distributed file store. Is Snowflake similar? Does Snowflake leverage file storage? And hold on, it goes on. And
Yeah,
if
yeah,
so,
yeah. Yeah.
can we reverse engineer from Snowflake files?
Yeah, that's what I told them that if it's just a regular uh, storage mechanism like how Databricks uses Delta tables, then there's no native connectivity for Snowflake files, but we can reverse engineer from Snowflake DDL files to be specific. But yes, yeah.
This one says, will there be change to how we use macros while modeling for Snowflake?
Well, let me see that. On that one, I must have missed. Let me see. Will modified. Where are you seeing that? Let me see.
That one came in the last. I just decided to go from the bottom real
Oh,
quick.
okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, okay, okay. Macro. Okay, will there be change on how we use macros by Molly? No, there'll be no change because the entire macro architecture is built on the VBA and WinRAP Basic. So whatever the databases that we support as part of the platform, nothing's going to be changing how we use macros.
And then there's one from Allison about how to create dynamic tables.
Yes, I told that I will need to get back on that. I don't know how to create dynamic tables in Snowflake, so we'll have to check and get back to them on that.
Okay. And you said that you did show how it says, how do we customize the DDL generation to
Mhm.
parameterize the DDL STMT?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, correct.
How do we enforce, is that referential integrity of the model in Snowflake?
Yes, I showed them that as well. Hmm.
Um, can ER Studio support table view, data lineage, and column level for Snowflake?
Yes, so you can use the data lineage. In fact, let me show that here. So I'm sharing my screen. So for what you can do for that instance is you can use the data lineage tab and just say yes for creating a brand new data flow. So here, if you'll see, we have our logical entities as well as our physical entities. So here you can actually just choose the tables, then there's the view, right? And what you can do is you can insert a transformation. And in this transformation, you can just call it a snowflake here and choose a data stream. And with the data stream here, you're choosing the source. And here you can choose the source and target. And now from the columns, I can choose my source. And to the target, I can choose my view. And there's multiple ways of doing this. We can leverage this, and that's how you can do that for the data lineage.
Okay. There's another one here asking if there is a way to share some Snowflake specific macros.
We don't ship with any Snowflake specific macros, but you are welcome to um, look at some of the samples that we've designed from here. So let's say, for example, you can look at the visual data lineage export macro, And here you can just choose whichever it is based on the model. Usually it is model specific, so you can do that. Or if you're so inclined, you can actually go ahead and add a macro here, and you can start looking at the object interface reference. So here, if I go to automation reference, here you can look at the objects here that we have support for. So you can look at some of those things here as well. Yeah, so here you can look at some of the sequences objects here. So this is one of the ways. So these are some of the macros that are Snowflake specific, please. Lots of great questions. Yep. And
I'm just taking one more peek. To anyone, I know Anil answered it, but in case it was missed, we will be sharing the recording. Oh, here's one. Can ER Studio support table view data lineage in column level for Snowflake? Can it be done directly through view definition?
so for example, let me go back to the views. So could you repeat that for me, please, Lauren?
Sure. So it's from Ethan. He said, "Can ER Studio support table to view data, like table and then over to view data lineage and column level for Snowflake? And can it be done directly through view definition?"
Through the view definition. That's something I'll have to check and get back. But to answer this question, with regard to the lineage standpoint from what they're asking, what they can do is they can go into the data, model in question, so Snowflake, then they can go into the data movement properties. Here, what you've defined in the data lineage, you can choose your source, and you can choose your target here. And from here, what you could do is you can directly go into the view, and I believe let me check one thing here. I think from the table aspect, you can go into the data lineage. So if you wanted to go at the column level, you then would come in here and go to data lineage. Then here you'll have the edit button enabled. And now you can then choose which one you want, the column, the tables, like this, and go from there. So yeah, so this is one of the ways you can leverage this. You can add your transformation logic and the transformation definition here. So that's how you would go with the data lineage piece.
Okay, so we got to those. I think I'm just checking. I think we may have covered, because we covered the Databricks stuff. Okay, I think at this point we covered everything that was in here. If not, we will follow up with an email. So feel free, if your question didn't get answered, to reply there, and we'll make sure that we get to that.
Awesome. Any other aspects, Lauren? I think we're good, right?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, cool. Well, again, I just want to share the PowerPoint deck real quick for you folks to grab a hold of. Here, let me put this out of the way. There you go. If you want to scan this code to know more information about ER Studio and how we can help you for your next big Snowflake data warehousing design project, let us know, and then we'll be happy to talk to you.